Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Anthony Maslow with The Boy Who Cried Flowers, and today we are going to be making a tropical entryway. This is going to be a great entryway for any event, wedding, cocktail dinner, cocktail party, etc. And before we get started, I want to say a special thank you to Mayesh and my team. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. For today's installation, we're going to be working with a few materials such as chicken wire, wire cutters, knives, clippers, an apple box, and a C-stand. So to get started, we will be using a C-stand that we've covered with chicken wire. We made sure that this is very secure as some of the items we will be using are pretty heavy. Yes! So I was driving down the side of the street and I saw some landscapers trimming this gorgeous bamboo down and knew I had to forage it for this. So today we're gonna be working with this gorgeous bamboo. Before I get started, I'm gonna just stabilize it before I trim any of it. And I'll get into the properties of trimming and what we're looking for as this is in place. So I like to just assess. Before taking a step back though, I'm gonna just make sure that this is not falling over. By using a little bit of wire, I'm gonna wire this bamboo to the chicken wire. And it's a very simple wiring. I'm just gonna go through and make sure it's nice and secure. So I love the overall direction and movement it has, but I'm not in love with how much bulk is happening down here. So I'm gonna go in and just trim back some of these excess branches down at the bottom and thin out some of this central area. Now this is great too because I can utilize all of this product again in some of these moments to hide the mechanics we'll be using today. Gorgina. It's got this beautiful springray fern that I'm gonna be using, and I'm just gonna trail it up the design. I really want it to look like it's naturally growing into this. So I'm gonna use some of these longer pieces up top, really bring in that texture there and that negative space, showcasing all the movement that this fern has. You can also trail it throughout some of this, so it's growing up. I really like to be inspired by nature when it comes to working with greens. I like to pay attention to caves and the places that are really damp and moist, to have a lot of things growing. See how things grow, what direction they're moving in. Also, if you follow my work, you'll notice I love to have things trailing on the floor. I think it's just as important part of the design as what you see above. I'm gonna keep it pretty heavy at the base, almost like it would be if it was naturally growing. And again, we're gonna keep some trailing. We've also pulled some stunning fan palms. How fun are these guys? And they take up so much space. I think these are so great for covering areas of mechanics specifically and really bringing out this tropical oasis feeling. I want to create a shape that kicks out towards the bottom and falls over towards the top. Let's create a beautiful moment to be photographed in or to make an entrance into a party. Next, I'm gonna start popping in some gardenia foliage. I love this stuff because it's such a deep green and it's got really shiny, beautiful leaves. I'm gonna go in next with some of these smaller fan palms. And I'm gonna start giving some more texture. I really love the texture they create, all these little points they have. I'm gonna start filling it in from the back and bringing some of these natural palm textures. Just kind of poking out in places here and there. You don't have to get too crazy with them, but they are a fun little addition. We're gonna bring in some more graphic materials. I'm gonna bring in some of these leaves here. Just tuck these in at the base, almost like they're just naturally growing with everything else. And I love the curvature these have because you can place them in and it looks like they've been growing, reaching for the sun. Next, I'm gonna go in with some Monstera and I'm just gonna fill out the base a little bit. I really love these deep green Monsteras as well. These are little guys. And I'm just gonna tuck these right in here and hide any of my mechanics. Now, normally this would be something that one of the first things you do. However, I wanted to make sure that I was loving everything I was working with truly before I went in and started moving everything around. So I'm next gonna go in with some hanging heliconia and add some interest in here. Some of these I'm gonna keep a little shorter, and some I'm gonna keep a little longer. This is Song of India, and this is such a great, long-lasting product. Again, courtesy of Mesh. This product is so great because, again, it lasts a long time. You can use this without tubing it, and it's such a beautiful, graphic greenery that you can get away with doing so much with. So I'm gonna sprinkle some down here just to cover some of my mechanics with the natural movement that they would kind of grow in. Bursting out, coming towards the sun, some moving in this direction, some moving in another. Tillandsia is a great product to use. I think it's such a wonderful jungle oasis product. They're just so fun and they're long lasting. So after you strike your event, or if your client wants to take these home, they can take these home and they'll live forever. And I love to use these to kind of dress up anywhere at the bottom that needs some love. We've also got these gorgeous banana plants, bananas attached and all. I'm gonna use these just laying down. These are kind of just gonna be a beautiful moment that comes out and adds interest. I've reflexed some of these petals back just to give it a little more interest as well. Before I finish this design, I just wanna step back, take a look again, make sure that all my mechanics are covered, make sure I'm loving the shape. Sometimes I like to pull my phone out and photograph it, make sure that it photographs well as well. I do see a little bit of holes right here. I'm just gonna cover up with some of these Anthurium leaves. Next, I pulled some Blue Star Fern. Another really textural element, beautiful tropical with a lot of movement and bend. So I'm really gonna utilize these in the shorter piece back here. And he couldn't be happier. Done! Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. I want to say a special thank you again to Mesh and my team. We really couldn't have done this without you. And as you see, we have our finished result, a beautiful tropical oasis. This would be perfect to enter a doorway. This would be perfect walking into a space, to get married in front of. Again, endless limits. And cut!